Now, once you have a good draft, you have your experience, you've touched base with your references. Okay, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start revising. And this is our writing process, remember? So now you're gonna start forming this into an organized document. And what I want you to do is open up Microsoft Word or whatever your text editing program is, something that has a little more power than just a basic text editor, because you're gonna need to be able to do, sizes and everything. I don't want you to use a template. I'll tell you why. When I speak to folks who work in career centers at universities, and when I speak to people about applicant tracking systems, they tell me that templates have artifacts in them that can really hurt you when the applicant tracking system software starts trying to match up your information with the job description. Because what this software does is essentially pull out all of your language, and if there's excessive formatting, it has a difficult time finding the language in it.
Any ideas? And
then using it. So you really want minimal formatting. And it's usually cleaner. And if you open up the Microsoft Word templates for resumes, a lot of them are not well designed in the sense of what is commonly accepted for resume format. I don't want you to use colors and photographs and lines, unless you're in the very rare case where you're applying to graphic design positions, in which case sometimes it's okay to use a creative resume. There are very, very limited cases where one of these, super well designed, say super over designed resumes are going to land you a job. Disagree with me all you want. I don't want cute graphics, colors, photographs. And even if you're a top tier designer, you can really shoot yourself in the foot this way by disqualifying yourself for positions. So watch out. You want minimal formatting. It's black and white. It's good use of white space. So I want your name at the top. You can put it in small caps. You can play with the size. It should be pretty big so that the person who's reading your resume can remember it. It's a visual cue of who this person is. You want to think about how you're going to stylize your name. Like, I'll give you the example. My name's Dan. My full name, Daniel William Lawrence. Sometimes I go by Dan Lawrence. Should I be Dan W. Lawrence? Daniel Lawrence? Full Daniel William Lawrence? Okay, really think about it. It's like, are you Sam or Samantha? Is there going to be some kind of gender ambiguity if you're just Sam? Would that maybe play into your advantage? Because studies show that there's the studies about this are abhorrent. They're really terrifying. The studies show that there's preferential treatment giving to, say, more Caucasian sounding names or more white sounding names. It's really whatever that means. It's a scary phenomenon. It's been widely studied, this kind of preferential selection in the hiring process. So you really want to think about what name are you putting on your resume, and kind of branding yourself. Who is your professional self? And you don't want it to be you want it to be not confusing either. It's like if you go by AJ but your full legal name is Ryan, then that's going to be confusing. Well, maybe your middle name is Andrew Jackson, then you're going to have to explain it to I don't know. I would say try to keep it simple, keep it super professional, keep it, and it depends on the industry and the context and the level of position you're applying to too. So I don't have any straight advice there other than think about it. Critically think about what you want your name to be and how you're going to brand yourself. I don't usually suggest putting your address on resumes anymore. It doesn't seem to be useful. There could be some cases where if you're applying to local jobs only, where it might be useful to show that, hey, I do live in the city and I understand this community. So again, critically think about every piece here. Really think about your audience. Again, we talked about audience. If you're applying to jobs out of state, then maybe it doesn't make sense to put your, if you live in Michigan and you're applying to jobs in California, maybe you want to not put your address on there because they're going to say, Michigan, what is this? But make sure they're accepting out-of-state applicants. That's important. Otherwise, you'll go right to the rejection pile. Sometimes that's specified, sometimes it's not. Most job positions in, say, you're getting up into the even entry level, but companies are having a hard time finding employees right now. The economy is really rocking, at least at the time of speaking right now in August of 2019. That could change at any time, but companies are having a hard time filling their positions. So most positions are accepting out-of-state applicants for almost anything, really. Whether or not they'll be kind with their relocation package is another issue, but. So address, critical thinking about your name, and then make sure you have contact information at the top. This is your header, by the way. This is your header information. And when we talk about cover letters, you're gonna have the same header on your cover letter, your resume, and your reference list sheet. And those are your 3 primary job documents that you need for almost every position. Okay, so you've got your header, you've got a phone number. You need a phone number. You can stylize it a couple different ways. You can put your area code in parentheses. What I really like to do, and what I think is really contemporary and looks sharp, is putting periods in between each section of the phone number. So area code, period. First 3 digits, period. Last 4 digits. I think it looks a lot cleaner than parentheses and dashes. Whatever you do, it should be consistent throughout. So if you use dashes in your phone number, then in your reference list of references, which is on a separate page, it's a separate document. I don't want it jammed into the bottom of your resume. If you use dashes in your header, then it should be dashes for the phone numbers in your reference sheet too. Whatever you choose, be consistent. But I like the very contemporary and clean looking style of periods. So again, area code, period, first 3 digits, period, last 4 digits. And that looks clean. That looks really nice. You hear the chihuahua barking in the distance?